So as usual, we have Toronto Maple Leafs drama. And I thought we were done with this in Toronto. Ever since they fired their coach, Mike Babcock, everything kind of settled down. But we're right back to it after they played horrendous last night. There was a lot of compiled news around the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I kind of understand why. In Toronto, it's heavily criticized if you have one bad game. If you have one bad game, you're getting traded in most Toronto Maple Leafs heads. And this is exactly what is going on. After the 8-4 loss against the Florida Panthers last night, I thought they were done with this. Ever since they fired Mike Babcock, they played well. They played horrendous on defense. Actually, they played pretty well on offense. And you know why? Michael Hutchinson, he gives up 4 goals on 17 shots. And it's just so bad to do to Frederik Andersen. He plays so well all the time for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then finally when he needs a rest, you put in Michael Hutchinson and he plays horrendous. That's obviously why the Toronto Maple Leafs are rumored around so many backup goaltenders in the National Hockey League. For example, they're rumored to get Alexander Georgiev, which I could see happening in the upcoming weeks. And another reason why is because Morgan Rielly is out 2 months with a fractured ankle. And of course, your best defenseman is now out for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mitch Marner, after the loss last night, said that they need to get their game together. This is absolutely ridiculous. The Maple Leafs have lost 3 games in a row. They're still in a playoff spot. So at least they're in a playoff spot. You don't have to worry about that. But if you're a Maple Leafs fan, you can't take stuff like this. They were amazing last year, almost nothing wrong, and I feel like this year it's an up and down ladder with this team, and I hope they get better as soon as possible because Jake Muzzin and Morgan Rielly, 2 of their top 4 defensemen, are now out long term, and now you call up Rasmus Sandin, a very young, promising defenseman, so that's kind of what you get out of this injury for Morgan Rielly. But other than that, there's nothing good about this injury on the Toronto Maple Leafs side. You still have Cody Ceci. You still have Tyson Barrie. Those are some great top 4 defensemen. But losing Morgan Rielly, losing Jake Muzzin, you don't have Ilya Mikheyev. He's been out for a decent amount of time and is still out long term. You, as a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, have to be pretty nervous. Morgan Rielly is amazing. He has 27 points this year, coming off a 72-point season last year. And he's just such a great defenseman in the National Hockey League. Like everyone in Toronto, he's oftenly criticized. But for the most part, I really like Morgan Rielly's game, and I think he's a big piece to this team. And with him being out 2 months, I think it will definitely... I just think it's going to be so much harder with Morgan Rielly out of the lineup to make the playoffs. And I think you have a good chance, but if you don't get a backup goaltender near the trade deadline, for example, maybe even Keith Kincaid, something like that, someone minor in the National Hockey League that can play better than Michael Hutchinson, because Hutchinson isn't the best lately. He hasn't been the best for a while, and I don't think he deserves a backup net mining spot in Toronto anymore. So get Georgiev, maybe get Keith Kincaid, maybe get Malcolm Subban. Who knows what you want to do? Get a backup goalie in the National Hockey League. See where it goes after that. See when Morgan Rielly gets back and Jake Muzzin do. I think this team will be 10 times better, and I really think it's just a matter of time until all those things happen. But like I said, with the Morgan Rielly injury, he's out for 2 months. That is not good at all if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. You do have Jake Muzzin kind of getting better, but maybe you have to trade for a top 6 defenseman near the deadline as well, because you obviously know that Morgan Rielly isn't going to come back for a while, and Mitch Marner is done with it. Toronto fans are definitely done with it. I don't even have to see anything they've said. I know they're done with it, and now it's going to be very hard for the Maple Leafs to prevail on defense defense, and that's exactly why you need a backup goaltender. When you have two great defensemen injured, you definitely need a backup goaltender. Cody Ceci, yeah, he's good. Tyson Barrie, yeah, he's good, but after that, it falls off. Travis Dermott, he's average. Justin Hall, he's average. Matt Morinson, he's average. So you don't really have a lot of great defensemen in your lineup anymore. So I'm very, very curious to see what the Toronto Maple Leafs do with their situation given, and I would like to see where they end up when playoffs come near. Definitely tell me in the comments down below what you think of these injuries, what you think they need to do in order to be a top 2 team in order to make the playoffs and make it and be able to get home ice advantage against whoever they play against. It depends. Hopefully they don't play Boston. They might end up playing Tampa. Tell me who you guys think they are playing in the playoffs. Tell me what you guys think they need to do in order to get to the playoffs, because with these 2 defenseman injuries, it's going to be very hard. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please tell me in the comments down below if you did. Thank you guys so much for the support recently. And this is the end of this video. We will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.